every asana has to be done as a pranayama. It cannot be done. Otherwise, it's just physical movement. What is the difference between a physical movement and a yoga asana? This is it. And when you add mantra to it, what is mantra? Mantra is the sound of the divine. It makes that asana alive. It makes it come to life, and it allows the shift of the prana within you with the mantra.
So Suprieya Kutty is a yoga therapist, and she is very interesting because she personalizes every practice for the individual and for their needs, their goals, their abilities. Now, she's been practicing and studying T Krishnamacharya's tradition of yoga for over 18 years. And she actually learned from his son, and she's going to tell us more about it, which was, I really enjoyed her stories. She's a Vedic chanting teacher, and she enjoys designing practices that include first setting your intention, your bhavna, and then she combines the mantras with visualization and with breathing, and of course with the asanas. And Supreiya is certified by the International Association of Yoga Therapists. We work together, and you've helped me with, physical blockages, with emotional blockages. So tell us a bit about how you do that.
Every experience that you go through is something that leaves an impression on us. And these impressions could be at different layers of our being, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, or even at a spiritual level. Each experience leaves an impression on us. Some of these impressions may be positive, some are not so positive, right? So it's very important for us to process every experience and cleanse the system and release any of these residues that don't serve us. If we hold on to those experiences and not process them properly, these create blockages in the system. And that comes in the way of you fulfilling the purpose of your life, or even setting out to achieve a goal for the day.
Is there a way of teaching people to remove the experience immediately?
Some experiences have been with us for a long time. And there are experiences that we relive every day. You may have gone through it a long time ago, but mentally or emotionally, you can relive that experience multiple times. Like, for example, somebody who's been in a car accident, in their sleep, they go through that experience of going through the accident over and over again. And that leaves deeper impressions on us. Sometimes you can't go back into time to release the particular experience, but fortunately, yoga has a big toolbox that gives us a variety of tools which we can use to cleanse the system and to release any of these residues that have, left lasting impressions on our system.
Okay. And explain to us what you do in terms of setting the bhavna and then working with the chant and the breath work. So just tell us a little bit about it.
So before I begin any practice, I usually, if it's a group class, I identify a theme. I usually like homogeneous groups because then we're all working towards a common goal. If it is a personalized practice, I usually talk to the practitioner, to the care seeker before the session. I get to know them. I understand what could be the immediate, trouble. Sometimes they don't open up so soon. So you do a couple of practices with them, and then, it comes up. Once you know where, sometimes you don't know. You just know the symptoms that the person is going through. You don't know what is the cause. So you start with that. You start with the symptom and you say, okay, this is it. Somebody has pain in the neck, pain in the hip. Let's work with that. And give some shodhana practice, give something that will pacify that pain or anxiety. So you set a sankalpa, you have an intention that you begin with. Then everything else falls in line. You choose an appropriate chant, which has a quality that the practitioner can connect with. That the care seeker finds a quality that they are aspiring towards. Because eventually you want to internalize those qualities within you. So the practices are designed with that, following that journey.
Okay.
and you meditate upon it before you let it out to the care seeker.
I was doing before I met you, I was doing these things individually. I was doing my chanting separately from my yoga practice. How does it work so well together?
When the yoga tradition or yoga, when practiced classically, the objective of yoga and asana or all the tools that yoga offers us is intended to shift the prana in the body. It's about moving the prana in the system, releasing, cleansing, and working on that level. It's not just about moving the body.
Right.
So when done correctly, when done the classical way, every asana is a pranayama, because there is a breath with every movement. There's an inhale, there is a hold, or there is an exhale. It has to, every asana has to be done as a pranayama. It cannot be done. Otherwise, it's just physical movement. What is the difference between a physical movement and a yoga asana? This is it. And when you add mantra to it, what is mantra? Mantra is the sound of the divine. It makes that asana alive. It makes it come to life, and it allows the shift of the prana within you with the mantra.
And tell us a little bit, I know you do a lot of rehab work in hospitals and the like with patients. So tell us a bit about the work that you do.
I work with my husband. My husband's a cardiac surgeon, and I work with him. So we work with the patient to understand, modern medicine sees the individual very differently, whereas a lot of the traditional healing systems take a more holistic approach. So when we take that approach, it gives us the opportunity to work with many ailments, neurological, orthopedic work, even cardiac work, pre-surgery, post-surgery, even things like, people who have symptoms of severe acidity, migraines. There are lovely, simple practices that can be done. If practiced regularly, you can see a lot of relief from the symptoms, both short-term, long-term benefits can be enjoyed.
From all the work that you've done so far, what do you consider has been your biggest achievement in helping someone?
All right, that's a tough one, because I think after every session, when the care seeker opens their eyes and there's that smile or that glow on their face, that is what makes me feel like, okay, this has been a good practice, or it's been impactful.
I love it.
And anyone who has, comes to a session and says, oh, today my pain is at, say, level 9 or level 8. And even if I can bring it down to a 7, I feel there's been some relief.
Right.
If somebody comes with a lot of anxiety and you can help them just center themselves, that's an achievement. But of course, we've worked, like when I was doing my internship with my teacher, we worked with severe cases where I remember this very elderly lady who suffered a stroke and she was paralyzed and couldn't do anything. The practice started with just chanting to her. Hers was just to be able to listen to the chants. And over time, she could start reciting.
Wow.
Then breathing. Then it moved on to asana, just moving fingers, moving the wrist. And eventually to see her walk again and regain that quality of life was just like almost a miracle.
When I asked you about the form of yoga that you do and how it's different, you said it was the Krishnamacharya tradition of yoga. So tell us a little bit about that.
There are certain, so the tradition which I study in, the lineage is from Krishnamacharya to his son, Sri Desikachar. We call him Desikachar sir. He's no more. I mean, the lineage is being upheld by his son, and there's the KYM Institute also in Chennai. As we said, combining these things, asana, breathwork, bhavana, chanting. There is a lot of work. There are a lot of practitioners who do follow this tradition. What happens is when it goes to the West, there's a lot of this cultural appropriation.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's like slowly the chanting gets taken away because everyone tends to associate it with maybe a religious connotation.
I see.
But, the surprising thing is that the chants that we use are from the Vedas. It's before Hinduism. So they don't have a religious connotation. Even more, you can choose a chant that the practitioner connects with. There's so many other traditions where chanting is equally important for like the Buddhism tradition. And there's so many other traditions where chanting is a big part of their practice that they follow. So Krishnamacharya ji himself had 4 very famous students who carried forward his lineage. And one was Sri Patabi Joyce. And he is the one who, took forward the Ashtanga Yoga, what is popularly practiced today. And this form of practice came when Krishnamacharya ji was also very young himself and could be very physically active.
Okay.
The other student of his was BKS Iyengar.
Mm-hmm.
And that he was, propounded the Iyengar style of yoga.
Mm-hmm.
Using a lot of props, because Iyengar himself, when he went to Krishnamacharya ji, was unwell. So he was given a lot of supported practices, which he went on to develop. After that was this lady, Indra Devi.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 4th one was Sri Desikachar, Krishnamacharya's own son, who started studying with his father when his father was a little older.
Right.
And that gave him, it was a time when Krishnamacharya himself was reflecting on, therapies, use of asana, pranayama, chanting for rehabilitation, for healing.
Okay.
That's the teachings that went on to Sri Desikachar and then, passed on to Kaustubh and Menaka ma'am, who's Kaustubh's mother, Desikachar's wife.
A lot of the yoga that's being practiced now has come from him.
Yes, he is known as the father of modern yoga. He's the one who's instrumental in having, allowing yoga to travel to the West and become so popular all over the world.
Give us an example of what you do. Can you just demonstrate for people?
I'd request you to sit down in a comfortable position. Take a few minutes to check or scan through the body. Look through your alignment. I want you to slowly and consciously lengthen your spine. Roll your shoulders back, releasing any stress from the neck and the shoulders. Keeping your chin parallel to the floor, I'm going to ask you to try and lengthen the neck, increasing the distance between your ear and the shoulder. At this point, I want you to slowly watch your inhale. Exhale slowly. Inhale, open up the chest. Exhale, contract the abdomen. Inhale deeply. Exhale slowly. With this, we're going to introduce a few movements. We'll begin with arm movement. As you inhale, slowly raise your hands up. Natural flowing movements. Exhaling, lower the hands down. Now, we go on to introducing a little chant to the movement. You're going to inhale, raise the hands up to shoulder level. And as you chant, Om Shanti, I want you to twist to the left side. So we'll do it together. Inhale, raising the hands up to shoulder level and chant with me. Om Shanti. Inhale, come back to the center. Chanting, move to the other side. Om Shanti. Inhale, come back to the center. Exhale, slowly lower your hands down. to go forward. I'm going to ask you to interlock your fingers. As you inhale, turn the palms outwards and lengthen upwards. Now we're going to chant Om Shanti Shanti as we lower the hand down. Right? Om Shanti Shanti. Release the hands. Take a few minutes here to allow the body to absorb the benefits of the movement, of the breath, and the chant. For the next part of the practice, I will chant Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. As I chant, you will inhale and then you will chant, you'll repeat after me. All right? Let's do this together.
One quick question. Should we set an intent with this?
So the intention today is peace. Like we said, to be at peace with ourselves, to be at peace with everything around you. Right? We have the Adi Daivika, things which are beyond your control, the weather, or even your own fate, your own destiny, things which are not in your control. The second Shanti, you're seeking peace from things around you, your neighbors, your family, your friends. And of course, the third Shanti, you're seeking peace from yourself. No negative self-talk, no ideas that you're not good enough, to let go of all those. So each Shanti has that bhavana, and we're offering this to all beings in the universe. With that bhavana in your mind, that intention in your mind, I'm going to ask you to bring your palms in the prayer position and place them at the center of your chest, over the heart center. This intention is love. As I chant, you will inhale. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Chant loudly with me. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Keeping your eyes closed, slowly release your palms, place them over your knees, palms facing up. I'm going to breathe in a ratio now. I'm going to use the ratio inhale 3, exhale 6. Right? So begin. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Slowly exhale. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhaling. Send the love into the universe. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale free. Exhale free. As you continue to take these long, smooth breaths, Dirgha Sukshma Prana, and holding the bhavana of receiving healing and sharing that healing with everyone around you, I'm going to chant the Lagunyasa, the first few verses of the Lagunyasa. And Lagunyasa is from the Taittiriya Brahmana, and the chant entails the natural elements to sustain the organs and the functions in the human system. And it's usually chanted to offer healing to people around, right? So you can just keep your eyes closed and watch the breathing, keep the bhavana in the mind as I chant just the first few verses. Agnirme vachi shritaha vag hridaye hridayam mai ahamamrite amritam brahmani vayurme prane shritaha prano hridaye hridayam mai ahamamrite amritam brahmani suryo me chakshushi shritaha chakshur hridaye hridayam mai ahamamrite amritam brahmani chandrama me manasi shritaha mano hridaye hridayam mai ahamamrite amritam brahmani. Very gently bring your palms together and rub them vigorously so they start nice and warm. You feel that heat in the palms. You may cup them over your closed eyes, allowing that heat to radiate through the eyes and energize the system. Take a moment to connect with that light within you, that unchanging divine seat of the divine within you. Always gives you the right direction, leads you to the purpose of your being. Slowly slide your palms over the head. Just use your fingertips to press your head, coming down backwards to the neck, shoulders, bringing that smile to your face. Slowly open up your eyes.
That was lovely. I don't know what people thought, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. That was really lovely. You know, given the fact that you and I both want to help empower people with health and wellness, what advice do you have for people?
The advice that I have for everyone who's listening here is practice, abhyasa. Take those few minutes out, as many minutes as you can for yourself, and practice. Even if it's just a little bit of breath work, a little bit of chanting, take that time out and practice. There's no substitute for abhyasa or practice.
So you're saying any amount of time, even if you have 5 minutes or 10 minutes, do it every day.
I would say start with what you can. Once you start enjoying the benefits, like the practice we did now was very short, but still so powerful, right?
Yeah.
And maybe some days you can practice longer and some days not so long, but practice every day.
Why do you always make us do the out breath longer than the in breath?
Extending the exhalation has a very pacifying effect on the system. People need that pacification, that shodhana. So I use an extended exhale.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the exhale, the pranayama as a tool is a cleansing technique. Pranayama is the most subtle tool that you can use to access the most subtle layers of your being.
Okay.
So when you have a long exhale, you actually have the opportunity to release or to cleanse from layers which are otherwise not accessible through other practices.
Okay.
So I want us to use that long exhale to be able to clear up those subtle blockages that otherwise are not easy to access.
Anxiety and, worry. Do you help people with that as well?
I think that is the most common reason why people come. And it's also the least acceptable reason why people come to seek a practice.
What do you mean?
I mean, like, people don't want to, first of all, they're not sure.
Mm-hmm.
They come to you when the symptoms have already appeared somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it starts off with worry
Mm-hmm.
or anxiety, but they don't think anything needs to be done about it. It's only when that pain or that anxiety manifests in either like pain in the neck or in your shoulders or the lower back, or they feel like, they can't sit and stand easily. That's when they come. But the cause, or where the root of what you're working with, is not really just the back pain. The root is anxiety or stress,
Right.
which has not been, like I said in the beginning, not been cleansed from the system. Those not gone through those process those experiences completely.
That was lovely. Thank you so much. Thank you for a very, very informative session. Thank you for listening to this chat. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe to this page. Please subscribe to our podcast on Apple and Spotify, Wellness Curated, and follow us on Instagram, Wellness Curated, the number 1. Thank you.